Back again, this time it's transfer targets for game week 33. As always, I'm going to be sharing 2 great options for each position from game weeks 33 to 38. One based on Fantasy Football Hub's predicted points and one picked by myself using stats and fixture analysis. Alright, let's get into it. But first, as always, we're going to talk about my current game week 33 team selection. As you can see, I've got 7 players playing away from home in tough fixtures. We've got the triple up in the Arsenal defence, playing away to Man City. That is going to be a tough game, so I do expect it to be tight. There could be a chance of a clean sheet, but with Timber not even playing in game week 32, he wasn't even on the bench. That's a worry, so that's probably a transfer that I'd need to make there. Then of course we've got Virgil van Dijk, another tough fixture away at Everton, which is a derby. Could be tight, could be a clean sheet there, but it's not ideal. Then Bruno Fernandes and Mbeumo, they're away to Chelsea. On Sunday evening, it didn't look like such a bad fixture considering how poor Chelsea were versus City. But at the time of recording, Man United are losing 2-0 at home to Leeds. And yeah, those 2 players, Mbeumo is on the bench and Bruno Fernandes hasn't got any points as it stands. So yeah, not looking like the greatest fixture with Chelsea away. And then Dango and Anderson, 2 good fixtures there. Fulham at home and Burnley at home. Haaland has the double up with Arsenal at home and Burnley away, so that's good. We're going to keep Haaland there. And Bowen and Thiago have Crystal Palace away and Fulham at home. I did mention that I was happy with my current game week 32 team, and as you can see, I stuck by that. I did not hit the activation button on the wildcard. It went well at the end of Saturday. After all the fixtures have been played, yeah, it was looking like it was going to be a really good game week. I was about around 12,000 overall rank before the Man City game, and then O'Reilly got that 14-pointer, and yeah, I moved back up to 21k. I think at the moment I'm only 500 places up from my original position before game week 32 started. So at the moment it looks like game week 32 wildcard is going to play out against me specifically. I don't know if anybody else is faring better who didn't hit the wildcard button, but let's hope that Fernandes and Mbeumo comes on and can get a return and push me further away from these guys who wildcarded in game week 32, and we can go into game week 33. I can hit the free hit button, and yeah, that's what I'm going to do, hit the free hit button, because I really don't believe that this team is good enough for game week 33, especially when you know there's so many managers who are going to be bench boosting as well and have multiple players doubling up in this game week. So with that being said, let's look at the transfer targets for game week 33, see who Fantasy Football Hub are selecting for their best overall players for the next 6 game weeks. And yeah, let's move on to the defenders now. Alright, so first up we're going to be talking about defenders, and Fantasy Football Hub have predicted that Gabriel was going to score the most points over the next 6 game weeks, despite him not doubling in game week 33 and blanking in game week 34. They believe he's going to get around 37 points over these next 6 game weeks, and it's not hard to see why. Despite those first 2 fixtures, they do have Fulham at home, West Ham away, Burnley at home, and then Crystal Palace away in the next 4. So a very good run-in for Arsenal if they want to win this league. You can't ask for much better than that. If they get a result against Man City, it's definitely in their hands. They can rest during that blank, and then they can really hit the last 4 game weeks and win the league. So whilst Gabriel doesn't have the double, he is against Man City away. That is a tough fixture, but I expect it to be tight. You just never know, there could be a clean sheet in there, and from set pieces we know that Arsenal are very strong anyway. There's not a lot needs to be said about Gabriel. I've had him for pretty much the entire season. He has got me so many points, and yeah, he's Arsenal's most nailed defender. I can't see him being dropped because he is the strongest defender in their back line, and if they want to win the league, they're going to need to keep playing him. His defcon's up there as well, 9.26 defcon per 90. Despite playing for a dominant side, I'd be surprised if he didn't pick up defcon against City, to be honest. And this will actually be one week where there's not a lot of managers who are going to be owning him. There'll be a lot of managers, including myself, who are going to be free hitting. So this could be a chance for a differential, given the fact that he's going to be on a lot of bench boost teams. As for the criteria for a player that you want to select, he's nailed. He plays 90 minutes. He's very good at getting clean sheets. He's the best at attacking threat in terms of defenders, and he can get defensive contributions as well. All right, my pick's going to be Nico O'Reilly. Now, I did mention that Gabriel's the best defender in the league for getting attacking returns, but this guy is pretty much right behind him. He's managed to pick up 5 goals and 3 assists this season with an expected goal involvement of 0.30 per 90, which is huge returns for a fullback who is actually still only owned by only 13.2% of managers. He, of course, has the double up in game week 33, Arsenal at home, and then Burnley away. So I'd at least expect 1 clean sheet, and that's from that Burnley fixture. He's not great at getting DEFCON contributions. He averages around 6 per 90, which isn't terrible, but he has only hit it once all season, so definitely wouldn't rely on that. He's probably City's most nailed defender outside of Mark Gahey. There isn't anybody else in this City defence who has the most effect when going forward. He's very much like Gvardiol from last season, just getting attacking returns, being defensively solid as well. I can't see why Pep would drop in, especially when they're still in the race for the title. The only negative now is that he could potentially be injured. He went off on a 63rd or 64th minute. It looked like a bad one, potentially could have pulled a hamstring. If he was out, I'd probably just then move O'Reilly to Núñez, as he's probably the more attacking defender out of the rest. Or you could move to Gahey and be a lot safer. But I reckon if you're going for attacking returns from a City defender, if you can't get O'Reilly who gets you goals from defence, then Núñez is probably the second best option because he's most likely to get you an assist. Again, in terms of criteria for a defender that you want to pick, he is pretty much nailed now. He's always in the City lineup playing at left back. He plays 90 minutes most of the time, gets clean sheets, has a very good attacking threat, and occasionally could get you a DEFCON. All right, moving into midfield, and Fantasy Football Hub have got Antoine Semenyo at the top of their list, predicted to score 37 points over the next 6 game weeks. He's already got 15 goals and 6 assists this season with an expected goal involvement of 0.40. Outside of Haaland, I think Semenyo is probably City's most potent attacker. He's definitely the next best outside of Haaland for getting you a goal. So yeah, if you want to go for a City midfielder and you want goals, then of course Semenyo is definitely the player that you want to go for. He gets 0.5 big chances per 90, as well as 0.20 big chances created. So he can get you either or. There's lots of avenues to points. He's not on any set pieces, but he does get on the end of things and can get you a few tap-ins before the season out. 56.4% ownership across managers, so won't really move the needle in terms of rank movement. But I mean, if you don't own him and he does get a mega haul, you don't really want to miss out on that because a lot of managers have him and you will move backwards in rank. Alright, so I'm going to go for Cherki, and believe it or not, I was actually going to pick him before his 2 assists against Chelsea. I just felt like he was a great pick. He seems to be starting all the time for City now and is playing a massive part in their resurgence since Arsenal started dropping points, and Ryan Cherki has played a massive part in that. Predicted to score 30.5 points over the next 6 game weeks. He gets 7.15 points per 90, and that's where the difference is really with him and Semenyo. Semenyo has played over 2,600 minutes while Cherki has only played 1,300 minutes, half of the minutes that Semenyo has played. So his points per 90 are really high, 7.15. He has got 3 goals, but where he stands out is he's got 11 assists. And for his first season in the league, that is really good. But for me, where this really benefits an FPL manager is only 7.6% owned across the manager base. So with the fact that he's got a double in game week 33, and then he's got very good fixtures up to game week 38, no really tough fixtures in there, with the fact that City are going for the title still, and there's still a chance that they're going to get there. I can't see Pep making too many changes to the team, especially now they're out of the Champions League as well. I can see Cherki playing most of these games and picking up a lot of returns until game week 38. Now for the free hit, I don't want to miss out on Semenyo's points, and the fact that he's owned so much, I feel like I have to select him in my free hit. But if O'Reilly's out, then I'll probably just go for the double up in the City midfield and go with Semenyo and Cherki for that differential. In terms of criteria and how I pick players, again, he's pretty much nailed now. Like I said, I don't think he's going to be dropped anytime soon. He's making a real difference to this City team, and he's probably one of the reasons why they are so close to Arsenal now. So I can't see why Pep would change that. He doesn't play 90 minutes, but he plays near them near abouts that 70 to 80 minutes most game weeks. He's on some set pieces, and of course he doesn't get DEFCON, but you don't expect that from an attacking midfielder. Alright, moving on to forwards, and Fantasy Football Hub have gone with Thiago. Outside of Haaland, he's the second best player to pick over the next 6 game weeks. Predicted 32.9 points. Fulham at home, Man United away, West Ham at home, Man City away, Crystal Palace at home and Liverpool away. When you look at that fixture ticker there, it doesn't look like the easiest fixture run, but those red fixtures are sandwiched in between some good fixtures and they're all at home. So those are really the games that you're targeting. I would probably include Man United in there as well because, like I said, they conceded 2 against Leeds. So Brentford could easily get a goal against Man United at Old Trafford. And he is on penalties. We know that he scored 2 goals in game week 32. He's now got 21 goals and 1 assist. So he's not going to get you assists, but he definitely is going to get you goals. So I can see why Fantasy Football Hub still have him at the top of the list despite having no double game weeks. Alright, so my pick is going to be Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Now, if any of you owned him last season, I did. He was really frustrating. His expected goal involvement was really high. He had a lot of big chances last season and managed to miss a lot of them once everybody started selecting him and never to be spoken about again. But this season, he's moved on to Leeds, getting a transfer away from Everton. And yeah, he's done really well. 10 goals, 2 assists in his first season for Leeds. That's not to be sniffed at, especially because Leeds are at the bottom of the table and they're not a very ball dominant side. You look at those stats though, expected goal involvement of 0.5 per 90 and 0.98 big chances per game. So he always gets at least 1 big chance per game. So that's not too bad if you're looking at a forward. And then you look at the fixture ticker, look how many greens there are. Wolves at home, Burnley at home, Tottenham away and West Ham away, all green fixtures, all fixtures where he could easily return, especially given the fact that he is on penalties for Leeds as well. So I'm going to have him in my free hit for game week 33 and there's potentially a chance that I'll wildcard him into my team in game week 35 when I activate it. Alright, so I'm quickly going to go through my game week 33 free hit draft and I've got Verbruggen in goal. I've gone with Hill, Struijk and O'Reilly. In midfield, I've gone for the double up, the Chelsea midfield. Enzo and Palmer, probably the 2 most effective players in that Chelsea midfield. I believe Enzo's going to be coming back for those 2 fixtures, so it'd be a great time to get him in. There could be a chance that he does something, given the fact that he's been dropped because of everything that he said, and all of a sudden he's going to come back and get these returns, and all is forgiven. That's just the way football works. So it'd be nice to get him in and potentially get some of those returns. Then I've gone for Cherki. As I mentioned, he's a really good differential, only owned by 7% of managers, and he gets 7.15 points per 90. So yeah, really want to go for him because of that differential. Then Tavernier, he's potentially on some penalties if Krupa Jr. is not on the pitch. He's got decent fixtures, Newcastle away, Leeds at home. We know that Newcastle aren't performing at their best right now, and Leeds at home could be a good fixture to target. Then up front, we know about Dominic Calvert-Lewin, very good fixtures there. Haaland with that Burnley away fixture, and João Pedro with Man United at home and Brighton away. I can't bench boost because I've activated the free hit button. I'll be hoping that this team manages to keep up with the managers that have also bench boosts. But yeah, overall, I'm happy with that team. If O'Reilly is out injured, then I would definitely move Enzo on to Semenyo, because Enzo, of course, isn't on penalties anymore. We know that because Palmer's fit. And out of the 2, I believe Semenyo has the more attacking output. So yeah, if O'Reilly's injured, I would probably just move to having the City midfield double up there as well, which is potentially something that I could do anyway. Maybe I take out O'Reilly, have Semenyo and have a really good attacking output, especially targeting that Burnley away fixture. Who's going to get you more points? Is it going to be a defender against Burnley, or is it going to be an additional attacking midfielder against Burnley? And I think you'd always go for that midfielder. So maybe I'm remove O'Reilly, put in Semenyo, Van Heck comes in for O'Reilly for that double up against Chelsea and Tottenham. Maybe Van Heck could get a clean sheet against Tottenham. Tottenham are playing poorly at the moment. And then yeah, you've got Semenyo and Cherki and Haaland for that really good fixture away at Burnley. But yeah, that's my top transfer targets for game week 33. What are your thoughts on my picks? Are there any players that I've missed out on? Drop them in the comments below and I'll be sure to check them out and reply. And finally, Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you don't miss upcoming videos and future FPL content. Fantasy Focus and my team selection will be uploaded later this week. Let's match game week 33. As always, green arrows and enjoy the football. Thank you for watching.